everybody, deliveries are just a really fun moment in the day here at my house, and when I get those Kickstarter games or GameFound games that I've backed, it's even more delicious because I know this game, I've read the rules, I've looked at the components, I've pined after playing it, and now I finally get to just enjoy the game that I think is going to be great. And I'll tell you right now, off the top, Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail, is a nice cascading strategy game with the core components or the core mechanic of worker placement, and it grows and it's fun. There's just delicious set collection and just cool moves that you get to do in this game. So I just want to show you everything because this is a big board. There's a lot going on here, but the iconography and the turns are fast. It's easy to read, and I just love the way everything is organized. So the first thing is that you're going to get your overview card, and this is so nice and big. Let me show you. Gameplay, overview, super easy to read. We're going to do Sunrise right now, and I'm just going to take a turn because it helps you understand the game. Sunrise, draw and place a weather token, and then draw and place a trail card. So I'm going to draw from this nice cloth bag. This is part of my Kickstarter, I think, bonus. I reach in here and I'm going to find a weather. Oh, gosh darn it. If it isn't a little bit of a windy, snowy day. Most of the tiles in here are nice. They're like a somewhat cloudy day or sunny. You're not going to have any problems. Ooh, this one right here is a super nice sunny day. Look at those tiles. So we actually got a day that had a little bit of inclement weather, and it's going to require some extra effort to walk the trail. That's okay though. We all know from the start that's part of our weather. And we are on hopefully day 1 for the hike. We start over here in Happy Isles and our hikers are ready to go. The next thing you're going to do is draw and play a trail card. Everybody begins the game with 3. So I'm going to show you my trail cards. Cash in, release a golden trout, a lot of victory points. This one is amazing sunrise. I woke up this morning and I saw a beautiful sunrise. I get to take a nice element. And the perfect day. I saw in my hammock, nice wind, beautiful, beautiful weather. So these are my cards I start with. Wow, amazing. I mean, those are great. I'm going to draw from this pile right here. Everyone's going to draw one. This one says, share food with hikers who lost theirs to a bear. That's so nice of me, right? Okay, so I've got my cards and I'm just going to play one of them. Now, these two right here gain you victory point, or not victory points. These gain you victory points right here, the little shield. These two are going to gain you resources. So I'm thinking I might take one of the resource cards because I start with some, but I also need wind because it's going to be windy on my hike. That's what this symbol is over here. So I'm going to play the perfect day. I'm going to keep the rest of my cards over here in my play area, and it says a hammock symbol. Now I'm going to find the hammock symbol in my pile of gear over here to the side of my board. I have found the hammock, and I'm going to take it and place it in my lowest leftmost space of my player board. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and when I put those 3 in, I'm going to gain a bonus. When I load up more gear in my backpack, I'm going to get even more stuff. When I load up 3 more gear, I get really cool stuff. And lastly, when I fill up my backpack with all 12 items that are all unique, if I do it first, I'm going to get that highest victory point symbol. So I'm loading this gear into my backpack. It's my hammock, and I am ready to go. Everyone's going to do that. Play their card, gaining the gear icon in the bottom corner, and they're going to get their stuff if they get stuff. So I'm going to take this flame icon, and I'm going to take this wind, and I'm going to add it to my pile. So now I've got 2, 2, 2, and 2, and the max you can ever have of these 4 different elements is 12. So I'm good. I only have 8. I'm ready to go. Let's move on. Daytime. Place tracks and resolve actions in any order. You can elevate, discover, resupply, hike, explore, and acquire. So I'm going to take these little walking feet right here. They're my little track tokens. I start with 3. And I have the opportunity here, if I hike up to Red's Meadow, to gain a second pair. And if I hike to Bench Lake, I'm able to get my last pair. And these are all your workers that you put out for your worker placement. So the more of these track tokens you get, the more actions you get to do every single turn. And every single round. We have 12 rounds. We are hiking for 12 days, and you need to get all the way here to Whitney Portal. If you can hike into this space, you get to score up all of your points. So that's the goal, is to hike. But along the way, you're going to go out and take pictures and look at the vista. You're going to look at these other items, collecting either sketches or photographs or the artifact itself. You're going to put that in your player area for some set collection, but of course you need to go to the lodge to heal up and rest up. And then you've got your 4 basic resources right here. So I take one of my little tracks and I'm going to place 1 tracks out, and I'm going to just go and do it. Now the cool thing about coming down here, these are going to be the guide cards, the field guide cards. And when you pay for it, you pay this cost up here, and then you gain the card and the symbol at the bottom. And I find that to be really enticing because I want to do something that shows you what is possible in this game. So I'm going to come here to Cooper's Hawk. What you do is you take the card away, and you're going to place that down right there so it shows you did that action. You pay a water and a flame. You put them back in the supply. And then you're going to take this card and put it in your player area, and that's its type. There are 5 types. You're going to keep it for your set collection at the end of the game. But I also am going to gain what I see pictured here, just like I did with my trail card. So I'm going to gain my hammock. Well, I already have gained it. I've already put it in my backpack. So when you see a symbol and it's already in your backpack, you then progress your tent. You are making progress on this elevation chart. So the very first thing, if you do it the first time like I'm doing now, I just put my tent down here on the very first space. And I'm going to walk all the way along this hiking elevation chart, gaining bonuses along the way. The next thing I get is another wind token. Okay, then I take this card and I just keep it in my player area, and that's going to be scored at the end of the game for set collection. That's my turn. It goes to my next player. My next player is going to go. Now, there are only spaces for 1 feats for one of your track tokens if you see that symbol like this one. If you see a symbol that has multiples, you can go as many people as you want there. It's only 1 person, only 1 person, only 1 person. And in a 4-player game, you can go in a place, you would have 2 track tokens there essentially. So I could go there, then my opponent could go there. I could go there, it could come back to me, and I could go there again, but only in a 4-player game. So over here is where you take photographs, and in a 2-player game, there are 3 spaces for photographs. You add a space for 3 players, you add a space for 4. And the photographs are of the vistas that I've put on this side of the board. You've got these beautiful locations that have a particular type, and they also have a cost and a bonus. So my next player is going to go. Let's say they go and get some resources. Now they're the only one that can go, and they get these resources, putting them in their supply. I can't go and get water now, but maybe I was wanting to go and grab up Devil's Post Pile. I'm going to take my marker, put it in that take a picture. I'm going to take a vista. This is my super cool, beautiful vista of Devil's Post Pile. So I'm going to receive 2 victory points on the tracker. I'm going to reach really far, 1, 2, got it. The next thing is I'm going to pay a flame and a tree. So let me pay a flame and a tree. I'm going to do that. And then I gain this gear item. So I'm going to take that first aid kit. All right, so I'm going to take my first aid kit and I'm going to load it into my gear. Fantastic. Now my opponent's going to go, who knows, let's say they go here and they're able to pay for it and nab that card and get all the bonuses for that card. It's back to me and I've got 1 token left. Now, there are 10 spaces along the trail and there are 12 rounds to do it in. And you can only walk one leg of the journey per round. So 2 rounds you're able to rest, and that's when you really don't think you can walk, or you're not prepared to, or you need to really gather up more gear, you need to spend your token to do something. So I'm going to take my matching foot, and I'm going to put my little boots there, and I'm going to move up 1 space to my step 1. Now every player begins with a randomized book that gives them further difficulties or obstacles they have to encounter along the trail. And it's really, really great because each of these takes the same picture of what that is listed right there. So for step 1, I have to pay an additional green tree. So I'm going to take a look at the requirements. Is there a requirement on the space? When you get to later spaces, there's an extra requirement. You look to the weather. Is the weather clear, or do I need to pay? I need to pay a wind because it's super windy today. And I look at my board and I say I need to pay a green tree. So I pay my green tree, I pay my wind, and now I'm able to walk 1 leg of the journey. I'm going to flip my book. And next time, you can always flip ahead in your book to see. Next time on Trail 2, I'm going to have to pay a tree and a wind and any weather if there is any weather that I have to incur. Now let's say I was 1 shy. Let's say I wasn't able to pay the wind, but I was able to pay the tree. Anytime you're not able to pay for your leg of the journey, you take one of these. These are your hardship tokens. And what that means is at the end of the game, if you're left with hardship, it is negative points in a really, really high ramping scale. So hardship is bad, but there are lots of trail cards, and there are also field guide cards that are going to allow you to get rid of your hardships if you have any, which is a super, super cool thing. So that's what I did for my very 3rd turn. And let's say my opponent goes and they want to walk the trail as well, paying the resources that are necessary. They need to pay an extra water, which is maybe why they went and grabbed some water for their turn. And then they'll move up and join anybody else in that space. So those are going to be those actions that you do. And all those actions are out here in the board. Once you've reached the space 4, you're able to go to the lodge and get food and water, sleep, endurance, and getting rid of hardship tokens. At any point, you can come out here to the basic resources. You can come out here and play trail cards for their bonuses, but not for the gear bonus. I already showed you how to do this, the field card exploration. We already moved up on the elevation chart. We took a picture over here in this display, so let's replace it with a new one. Wow, it's the Agnew Meadows, and we also actually hiked. Those are the actions. This is the game. This is so exciting. So let's take a look at that sunset. This is the end of the round. So consume food and water. Let's talk about that. You must consume a food and a water. These are really, really hard to come by, and you're only able to get them in the lodge or if you have cards that let you take those. So you pay a food and a water. You retrieve your tracks. So I'm going to retrieve my tracks wherever they are. I'm blue. So I'm going to take blue, blue, blue. Take my guys back. Green is going to take theirs back. Then you will refresh the field guide cards by sliding them down and then replacing them with new cards, new opportunities. Resolve First Light Medallion and pass the Trailblazer Medallion. So, I was the start player. This is the start player marker. What's going to happen is if nobody takes the first light marker, which is up here, you can simply go up here and take it, meaning you want to start the next turn. But if nobody takes it, you'll put a water on it to entice people to go and take it as an action. And then this will just pass to the next player in turn order. So this will automatically just move around the table unless someone takes that first light marker, in which they get to start the next round. And that is a full round. There are tons of opportunities for the domino effect of I do this and then I do that. If I fill in my last, I fill in this row right here, I'm going to get one of the basic resources that allows me to take this which allows me to be able to prepare for the weather needed to hike on Trail 2. Who knows what the weather is going to be? This is in that very first phase in each round. You find out what's the weather. Oh, it's just delightfully cloudy. There's no added cost to go there. And once you reach 5, one player hikes into 5, you will trade out all of these green vistas with all of these blue vistas. And they are just all brand new places. All of these are real locations, and they all have a variety of fantastic bonuses and opportunities and gear and victory points. It's just amazing. And you better believe at 9 and 10, if someone walks into 9, you're going to get these final vistas. And these decks for these locations are just thick and juicy and just lovely. And they're beautiful. I love this artwork. I love the opportunities. I think this game has a lot of juice. I think it has a lot of oomph. It has a lot of good stuff. And these cards are beautiful. Again, I really, really do like what is going on here in Trailblazer. I was super excited about it because it had the action placement, right? You have your worker placement out here with your tracks. You have the chance to get more tracks. You have a chance to get these medallions that are based on your particular gameplay style, getting you victory points for a variety of things. These are set collection. There are 5 types, and if you get all 5, you get 7 victory points at the end of the game. And it goes down from there. I think it's 7, 4, 2, 1, none for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These guys are just victory points straight up. And there are all these different little mini expansions. So one of the expansions is the Black Bear and Bluebird mini expansion. So here is that Bluebird. This is all about where the Black Bear and the Bluebird are on the locations here in the trail. And they've got one for each of the locations. And then you've got the Black Bear right here. And so the Black Bear, if they're in your space, they are going to eat some of your food. And then for the Bluebird, will give you something if you are the lowest scoring marker at the time. So it's a really, really interesting way to avoid the Black Bear, or kind of just come face to face with it if you want just a little bit of luck. You'll shuffle these cards up, and then the bird as well will kind of bring a treat or a little joy to someone who is maybe not so happy at the time. And so it's a fun mini expansion. And another really cool mini expansion is a brand new ream of books. So you'll have 4 of these different book bindings that you give, 1 to each player, and it has a random organization of things that you have to actually pay every leg of the journey that's different for each person at a different time. Well, this is like your basic. This is your starter. This is your get going. This is your hard one. So if you want to play a little bit more advanced, you're going to have the hard map. And the hard map is definitely going to be way more challenging. It's going to require that you have certain gear to get into spaces, and you also have to pay these resources. And that is an endurance, and that's really, really hard to come by. It actually means you have to go to the lodge to get it, and every player just starts with 1 endurance, 1 ZZs or sleep, and so it's really, really hard to do that. So these are way, 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 way harder. It is super interesting though. I really think these have a strong appeal once you kind of get used to the game. Another thing is you've got these cards that will give you objectives or goals and an ongoing bonus or ability. So let's take a look at the skill cards. This is the back of the skill card. And it's going to tell you something like Wilderness First Responder. Score a victory point each time you use your first aid kit. And remember that use means it's in my backpack. I've already loaded it, and now I'm using it to move up a space on the elevation track when I activate that particular symbol, because it's out here on the board in one of these gear symbols, or it's in one of those spaces, or in one of these cards. So that's really, really cool, and players are going to get a chance to pick the one that they want from 3. And then these are the mission cards, and there is a blue mission, and then there is a yellow mission deck. You're going to receive 2 of them and pick which one you want. This one happens in the game at some point when it triggers, and you're going to get those points. And this one happens at the end of the game, and it's going to tell you exactly what you get if you have qualified for it. So just stunning. I love this. I love the missions and I love the skill cards. I played with these in my very first game, and it was not an issue, not a problem at all for any of my players to figure it out. And then lastly, there are these blue-backed trail cards that come in a mini expansion that are not green and not red. And so I haven't shown you the red cards yet, but red cards are obstacles. They give a bonus, but you have to have this gear equipped in your backpack just to play it. And that's really interesting because it makes that card particularly hard to play if you don't have that gear equipped. But once you do, you can actually use your gear and heal your blister. It's just so thematic. It's just really, really fun. There also is a Robo Hiker, and this is the solo game. So if you want to play this game by yourself and be challenged by the Robo Hiker, you absolutely can. And there is a real nice ramping. You can challenge yourself to play this game in just 10 rounds, and every single round you must hike one leg of the journey. And so you're cutting off 2 rounds, making it a particularly challenging game while still playing with the green deck cards. So there's just so much here to replay, to try to add in as the expansions, and to really make this a nice shareable worker placement experience for up to 4 players, which I think would be loads and loads of fun to play with a full table, because you are vying for the same cards out here. You are vying for the same vista pictures that you want to take, and you're really trying to just maximize your resources. This is it, yeah, resource management. And every single round when you have to eat and drink, it's like the worst, as in every game you've ever played by Uwe Rosenberg, you have to feed your people. You have to feed your people here. You're taking a hike, and that hike is exhausting. So, I mean, just dynamite kind of combos where I play this, and then I get this, and then I get that, and then I get this, and then I come over here, and then I get that. And so it's just so juicy. It's so fun. And at the end of the game, you are going to score up, yep, negative points for those hardships, score those medallions, which are here and here. If you are able to reach those places that show those particular medallions, if you get this 9th gear, or if you reach this 4th space on the track, you're going to receive these beautiful medallions. That's our compass rose, or the wind rose. That's the elevation token, which can be used to go in a place where somebody else is standing and blocking you, or you save it at the end and you score 2 points for it. Your field guide card sets, your arrowhead bonuses, and then your journey bonus arrowheads. And of course, don't forget to add those mission cards and your goals if you use that expansion pack for your game. Can't say enough good things about this. It was just a lot of fun. It was dynamic. I felt like I was playing the whole time, and the turns are so fast and exciting. You just want to keep putting your tracks out one more time to grab one more thing, to get one more thing, and to walk on the trail. And there's always just exactly one less action piece that you have that you want to use. And I think that's always a really good game when I want to do more on my turn and I just can't. So thumbs up, super excited, absolutely love my new copy of Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. Just everything I'd hoped it was and more. All right, everybody, I'll see you later.